Bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien pendant cette période estivale. Voilà, nous vous avons prévu un programme qui retrace tout ce que nous avons partagé comme Connecting Day depuis le mois de janvier jusqu'au mois de juin. Vous allez voir ce soir donc une des journées que nous avons eues de telle sorte que vous puissiez la revivre et pourquoi pas trouver des partenaires et aussi élargir votre marché sur le pays qui a été cité ce soir. Hello everyone, I hope you are good during this summer. We have prepared for you, the connecting days that we started since January until June. So we hope that we will have a good program and you will enjoy this country that you will discover, and maybe you will have a lot of contact just to make business in this country. So we give you rendezvous after that just to be in contact with you. So have a good program. Bon programme et bon connecting day. Au revoir.
Bienvenue à Connecting Days, organisé par Continental Working et ses partenaires. C'est une plateforme qui vous apporte les meilleures relations d'affaires avec le continent africain. Hello and welcome to Connecting Days, an event organized by Continental Working and its partners. There to help you to create the best relationships with the African continent.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Connecting Day Ghana today. My name is Richard Addison, CEO of Kent Farms, and we solely produce rice. We are going to talk about the rice sector in Ghana, where it's a developing sector. People are now growing rice. Ghana used to import over $400 million worth of rice every year. I mean, it's going down because locally the youth is getting into agric and especially rice farming. Rice farming in Ghana is a lucrative thing to be in, but the challenge is, as you know, in Africa, it's all about land and then getting the right seeds. But I mean, when you get these things properly, you know, there's a vast opportunity for you to go into that sector. Friday Farm Days here again. We're back here. As you can see, the dream is still ongoing. We can see rice shoot up. Mr. Amwakwedu came to visit us today as well. He's from Rail Delivery Service. So, Mr. Amwakwedu, what do you think and how do you feel?
I think it's amazing. I've eaten rice all my life, but it took me this year or through Kent Farm to see how rice is grown, how rice come about, and I think it's very, very impressive. God richly bless you. I think I'm much more impressed with the vision here. And as I said, we are looking for the support of Ghanaians that has harvested, eat local rice, and we promote Kent Farms. Thank you.
Okay, so hi, Connect Ghana. This is Richard Addison, CEO of Kent Farms. We're here to talk about the rice industry in Ghana. Currently, the rice industry in Ghana, I think, is one of the most lucrative things we can look at in terms of, I mean, the land size. Ghana has good arable land, and if anyone should go into farming, I'd recommend rice as part, of something you need to look at. One statistic I can give is Ghana, for example, imports about $800 million worth of rice every year from across the world. As I was saying, $800 million. Even if the locals and the youth are taking 10% of that 800 million, that can solve a lot of issues. Also, I mean, $800 million can do a lot for youth and unemployment. If we have enough land and then we have enough equipment to basically grow rice, we can get a lot of young people into the agri sector and into farming. So, I mean, thank God the government in Ghana is doing stuff for the young people in terms of planting for food and jobs and all of that, which is quite good. But I think we can do better by actually introducing more modernized equipment into the country. Any investor who wants to come in, I think one of the places you can look at is renting equipment and farm equipment to young farmers at a reduced price, because not all young farmers can actually afford to buy machinery or rent machinery. So I think that's a place people can look at as well. There is also a market for seeds, because we don't have the proper seeds. Most of the seeds we have, are not up to standard, but I mean, they are good and safe. But I think if we get proper seeds, then we can look at our yields and get a better production. There's also an opportunity for people to actually buy rice mills, because currently the rice mills we have in Ghana are not good enough. So what we are getting is we're not getting quality rice, which is sorted and color graded. So we cannot really compete with people who are importing rice from Thailand, Vietnam, and all those areas. Now, rice mills in Ghana, yes, I think it's also a step in the right direction if we do that as well. So I think there's a market for rice, and we are also looking at expanding to the other, our neighbors, that is Ivory Coast, Togo, and Burkina Faso, in terms of selling rice from Ken Farms. Our rice brand is called Kwaba Rice. We want to do that as well, whilst we want to collaborate with people from other African countries where we can actually collaborate and grow more rice. And maybe if we can have a centralized rice mill where we have our grower systems in the countries and get all the rice to one centralized mill and then mill the rice and sell it. Because I think it's about time Africa fed itself, and it's about time we came together to do what we're doing. So I think that's basically in terms of rice. So anyone who really wants to invest in Africa, in Ghana, I think this is a sector you really need to look at. Not necessarily planting, but in the ancillary side of it as well, in terms of machinery, in terms of expertise, and in terms of milling and then the chain, along the chain. So I think I'll invite you all to have a look at Ghana, have a look at our sector. I mean, the Western region, the sector is now growing. We have a bigger, rice community in the north, and then as you trickle down in the Ashanti region, actually in the whole country, but then you have a bigger concentration in the northern part of the country. But like I said, I'm inviting you to come to Ghana, come and invest in Ghana in terms of agri. Look at the rice sector, because it's one of our staple foods, and you can never go wrong with rice. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It feels great to be connected to such an amazing audience. I am optimistic that this meeting will be mutually beneficial to all of us. My name is Harriet Nalamle Bento, the Managing Director of Solid Cast Construction and Investment Company, a road construction firm based in Ghana with its office in the capital, Accra. Solid Cast Construction was established about 7 years ago to partner the government in its bid to provide good roads for its growing population. Solid Cast Construction is licensed by the Ministry of Roads and Highways as an A4B4 firm, which enables the company to undertake, among others, the construction of roads, airports and related structures,
concrete bridges, culverts and other structures, steel bridges and structures, maintenance of bituminous or asphaltic pavements. Our recent works include pothole patching, sectional repairs, reshaping, and the construction of speed tables. These are all routine maintenance activities with the Ghana Highway Authority and the Department of Urban Roads, two agencies under the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Solid Cast Construction has developed expertise in road surfacing, drainage works, grading, and graveling works, and is currently placed as a medium-scale company. Ghana's road sector remains viable for all categories of contractors, from small, medium to large scale. The country has been very active in this road construction sector. However, a huge deficit remains in construction, reconstruction, and maintenance programs as the population continues to move further away from the urban centers to peri-urban areas. Additionally, Ghana recently increased the number of its regions from 10 to 16. This no doubt calls for the development of infrastructure, of which roads is not an exception. I must also state that one challenge that affects many road contractors is financing, which is worsened by delay in payments for works done for the government. That challenge notwithstanding, the road sector remains one of Ghana's viable sectors for investors, as there is guaranteed turnover on investments. At Solid Cast, we have a great team of engineers, quantity surveyors, and project management professionals who for any company looking to invest in Ghana's road sector industry. Thank you very much. And so I do hope that you found this presentation insightful and welcoming to invest in Ghana, partnering Solid Cast Construction and Investment Company. Thank you very much for your attention.
All right, Ghana is an agrarian country, as we all know, and is also a gateway to West Africa and Africa as a general. Agriculture is the oxygen of Africa. It's no more the backbone, because when we take out agric from Ghana or from Africa, it means we have nothing at all to talk about or to boast of. Prior years, Ghana has lived on the agric sector in terms of its production in a smaller quantity. That is the smaller holders farming activity here in Ghana, which we call it subsistence farming. But glory be to God, from 2016, Ghana emerged, or Ghana converted from its subsistence way of farming into agribusiness, whereby a lot of capacity buildings have been taking place, a lot of technology advancement also has taken place. Therefore, some, especially those of smaller holder farmers, they are now upscaling their production to meet the international market demands. So Ghana here is well strategized. Ghana here is more equipped in terms of production of agricultural products. And to talk of, with the coming of this government, that is the NPP government, has introduced a lot of policies to help the youth and also to encourage the youth into the agric sector. So the policies could be planting for food and jobs, rearing for food and jobs, and then planting for exports. They are all policies that the government puts in place. This is to help the youth especially to go into the agri sector by providing them with the necessary support, which is seeds, fertilizers, and other inputs to produce. When I talk of this support, it doesn't mean they are free, but the government provide this in a subsidy way to them, whereby government also buy their products at the end, so that they also have a market accessibility for their produce. So when we talk of agriculture here in Ghana, at first it was being done in a cultural manner. If I say cultural way of farming, it's a habitual way. Like, I would love to farm, not to make it as a business, but I want to maybe farm, eat something thereafter. Then if I have to sell small to get little money to buy maybe soap, to buy maybe cream, that is what I do. But right now, the narrative has changed. And way back, the agriculture sector here in Ghana was dominated by aged people. If I say aged, those who are more than 50 years, they were seen in the agri sector. But right now, when we talk, like, the youth are now picking up. The youth are now taking up because of the narrative, and then because of the education that has been discerned down, that agriculture is no more for the aged. Because if you want to save and you want to feed the world and then the continent at a large, we need the youth who are capable, who are able, who have the strength to come into agri and also to help feed the world. So now agri is taking a different shape here in Ghana. The youth are more coming into agriculture now, but in as much as they are coming in, we still need more hands also to produce, because when it comes to Ghana per se, we have arable lands. I must put this on records. Anywhere or any parts of Ghana here on our land, if you put something or if you put a seed on the ground, it will yield. Any place or any part of Ghana here. When we take the coastal areas could even produce tomatoes, carrots, cucumber, even cabbage. Even in the sands, they could produce tomatoes there. When you go to the north, which is classified to be the hottest area, whereby we could say crops do not do well, even they also cultivate soya bean, millet, maize, yam. So it tells you any part of this country, when you put in when you put in seed in the soil, it will grow. All that you need to do is to identify the particular type of soil that is suitable for the particular crop to produce. That is it. Ghana used to import, and it's a so sad thing. You know, we have been importing from the Europe. We have been importing from America all kinds of foods. Talking of the livestock products, talking of cereal products, that is rice, and then the chicken and other stuff from the Europe. We've been importing a lot over the years. But right from 2018, this government made it known and made it available to the youth that he or the government has to put up a strategic plan whereby the importation will be minimized. So if you visit, especially my blog, agritoday.com.gh, I have written a couple of articles concerning what the government said, that by 2023, Ghana will minimize its importation of rice drastically. So this is what we are all looking up for. And by doing so, government started helping the youth, giving the youth seeds, rice seeds, and then fertilizers in a subsidy way for them also to grow, to plant as well. And last year, for instance, the minister came out that the production of rice locally was increased remarkably, which means the agenda or the plan that the government tried to put in place, it's yielding results. But in as much as that one is yielding results, I think there is more room for improvement, because when it comes to local production, it's low beyond, or is low beyond the consumption level of we Ghanaians. Therefore, the production needs to be upskilled. And when it comes to livestock, to say, the government also made it rearing for food and job, like I said earlier on. So the government said, okay, it's going to also minimize the importation of livestock products, especially with chicken, with the frozen chicken. So he brought rearing for food and jobs, whereby we also give some of the day-old chicks to some of the farmers to also go into, to also rear them. So that one started just last year, and I think they are in the process. Therefore, we are looking forward this year to see the results of that as well. So in general, when we talk of agriculture here in Ghana, or what's the European or Europe, what they know is Ghana is well strategic in production of cocoa, because it's cocoa that sells Ghana across. But it's not only cocoa, but Ghana, we have as a variety of food crops that are being seen outside. It's come from Ghana. I can tell you, and I will boldly tell you that we have Golden Exotic. Golden Exotic deals with banana. They export banana here to Europe. When you go to Golden Exotic, they have about 5,000 acres of land full of banana production. So they produce and they export. When you go to Boma too is having pineapples. Like, it's about 3,000 acres of land full of pineapple. When it produces, it also exports it. So we can also talk of Blue Skies. Blue Skies is also doing a lot here. When you go to here, we have a place called Adesso. Here at the western region, at the eastern region, Adesso, that is where we have Blue Skies farm. You go there, a lot of pineapple farm, which they also export for to the European market. So Ghana here, we do a whole lot here, here in Ghana. So when you talk of just agricultural overview of agriculture, although I can't maybe produce, or I can't give statistics of figures of things that are being done. Fine, if opportunity will be given, I think next time we could present you the figures or statistics of these that I'm talking about. So in overview, this is what Ghana agriculture is. Ghana agriculture is one, and I'll tell you, one of the best in Africa here, as the world knows, because the world only knows of cocoa. And if our cocoa is the one of the best in the world, it tells you our banana, our pineapple, our maize, everything that we do produce here is also one of the best in the world. So this is the overview of agriculture here in Ghana that I would say. Thank you very much.
Welcome to this presentation about technology in poultry farming. Today I'm going to introduce 123 Poultry. My name is Stefan Krol and I'm the Innovation Manager at Champri. Today's agenda, I will first tell a little bit about Champri. What is this company and what it's all about? Then I'm going to introduce 123 Poultry. I'm going to tell a little bit about technical farm performance, financial farm performance, and farm management. And at last, I'm going to tip off a little bit of 123 Feed. Champrix is a Dutch company that has more than 25 years of experience in the business. and we are currently active in more than 40 countries worldwide, mainly focusing on developing countries, where we supply all sorts of feed additives, but we mainly focus on premix and concentrates. We are honored as Champri to host this presentation, and Champri really embraces technology to support farmers. This morning I already introduced 123feed.com. It's an application that supports farmers in generating their personal best recipes for their farm. And now I'm going to introduce our new application 123 Poultry. And this application will be launched this month. So what is 123 Poultry? It's a brand new application that we will offer for free to all farmers globally. And it's an application that supports farmers in recording and analyzing their farm results. And it will be available on iOS, so that's Apple, in May, and in Android in July. And why does a company like Champri want you to keep farm records? Well, first of all, it's widely known that keeping farm records improves decision making and farm efficiency. And secondly, when farmers keep financial and production records, they are more likely to get a loan and better offers for loans. So it's in the interest of the farmer. And Champrix invest in tools like 123 Poultry because we want to educate best practices to improve farming globally. And it's also for Champri an opportunity to grow along with their customers. We can truly achieve a win-win situation where the farmer grows, we will grow along with them. And these tools will be applicable to all farmers in all African countries, so we can really serve a lot of farmers at the same time. So when we decided to develop this application, we first zoomed out and we asked ourselves the question, how to achieve a successful farm? Well, a successful farm, we describe it as a farm that is capable to sustain its owner with profits while ensuring the farm's continuity, so on the short and on the long term. And we basically have three ingredients for a successful farm. First is technical performance. That's the farm efficiency in production. How many resources does your farm need to produce outputs, like meat and eggs? Secondly, it will be the financial performance. So the farm's financial results. How much money does your farm have at the end of the year? And thirdly, it's farm management. How well are you capable to improve your farm? Because if your farm is doing okay now, it also needs to do in a couple of years. So you need to stay on top of it and improve your farm. And we took those three ingredients and we tried to blend it into 123 Poultry. First of all, we look to the technical performance. So as I said, it's the resource efficiency to produce eggs and or meat. So how much feed, water, labor, electricity do you need to produce 1 kilogram of meat or 1 egg? And of course, efficient farms need less resources to produce those. So in the long run, efficient farms will have a better chance to survive and even prosper. And important about these indicators is that they can be compared among farms and are not influenced by price. So you could take farm A and farm B and calculate how well farm A produces and how well farm B produces by looking to their resource usage. And we have 5 main indicators to track the technical performance. That is livability, so what is your overall flock health, how many birds die, how many birds survive, your feed usage, your water usage, your body weight development, and in case of layers, your egg production. So these are the 5 indicators that we included in the 123 Poultry application. First of all, we're going to look to the livability, so or otherwise said, the flock survival rate. Some of you might also be known with mortality percentage. That's the same, but we prefer livability as it's a positive name. You want to track livability because it's a good indicator of flock health. So sow mortality is natural. Every farm globally has sow mortality, but too high, that's where it indicates problems and when you need to get a vet or you need to change your farm practices. And it will be presented in the application with a graph displaying the mortality percentage. So on the x-axis you have the days, so how old are the birds, and on the y-axis you have the percentage. And it also tracks the dead and sold birds. And the three data requirements are dead birds, the cause of that, because you want to track it and maybe later review why that specific flock had increased mortality, and the number of sold birds, because you're going to sell your birds eventually. Secondly will be the feed intake, or the feed given per bird. And you want to track the feed curve. So do you give sufficient feed to your birds? Is it on the curve? Or do you maybe overfed them or give them too little feed? And you also will get the feed conversion ratio. That's how much feed you need to produce 1 kilogram of meat or 1 egg. And of course, efficient farms need less feed. And feed being the most expensive resource on your farm, because you need most of it, it's important to keep that number low. And often a low feed conversion ratio will indicate good quality of feed, but also a healthy flock. So it has multiple causes. The data requirements are the feeds given in kilogram per day. So you need to track how much feed you gave to a specific flock or batch on that day. Third is the water intake. How much water do you give to your birds? We know this can be a difficult indicator to track. Not all farms are equipped with water meters, but if you do, it's a really good indicator of flock health problems. Often a dip in water indicates health problems and is one of the earliest signs of your flock not being healthy. And the data requirements are simply the water given in liters per day. Fourth is body weight. So what is the weight development of the bird? You want to track if your pullet is well developing. If it's growing too fast, then it will be fattening, or too slow, so it will not reach the right weight before laying. And for broilers, it's one of the most important indicators, because you want to achieve that target weight as soon as possible, and this will help you review the curve. And so it tracks the weight development from the birds as well as feed efficiency. You need to improve body weight development to get the feed conversion ratio. The data requirements are the number of birds weighed and the total weight in kilograms. So you could either weigh one bird at a time and put it into the application, or otherwise weigh 20 birds at the same time and then add the total number of kilograms. At last, there will be egg production, of course only for layers or hybrids, and it's calculated by eggs per bird. And you want to track the continuity of laying and the curve development. So is your farm achieving the right curve, or is it lacking? And it also calculates the total amount of eggs you collected. So the data requirements are number of trays, and standard tray will be 30 eggs in a tray, but you can change that in the application. Number of eggs that did not make the full tray, and number of damaged eggs. Eventually, you want to use this data to start learning from it. and you want to compare your technical performance to previous performances of yourselves or with other farmers that are in your region. Within the application, you're able to overlay the same data on one page in the application. So on the green line is flock 1 and the blue line is a demonstration flock that we already pre-programmed, that's flock 2. And you can see that the curve is developing. And that green is slightly underperforming. But you could compare so you could learn from your results and you can zoom in on specific periods. It's important to know that all flocks start at day 1, so they will, regardless of date, they will always be comparable because they all calculate to numbers that are comparable. And now you think, okay, I've seen a lot, but it's way too hard for me to use. But we try to solve that as good as possible by having one easy entry button. So you create a flock that's a number, that's birds that started at the same age, that are in the same shed or in the same location. And eventually you need to enter the data, and you only need to enter the data points that I just showed. And you could do that with one easy entry button in the application. So you simply click add data, then a pop-up will appear. You enter the date of the data and you enter all data points, and it already pre-programs everything in the right manner. So you will get the graphs instantly. So no longer difficult Excel calculations, the application will do it all for you. And to support you a little bit in putting the data in, because not everybody has internet at their barn and not anybody will enter the data directly, you could also download our broiler record forms or layer record forms. This is an example, and you fill in the day, the date, if there were any dead or sold birds you have to write if they are sold, the cost, the feeds given in kilogram, so it's important to track it on a daily basis, the water given in liters, and if you don't have that data, it's no problem at all. You just leave out the data and then the graph will remain empty, but the rest of the application will function fully. And at last, the number of birds weighed and the total weight of the birds, and the application will do the calculation for you. We usually recommend to weigh your birds every 3rd day to keep really track of that weight development, but you could also do it more frequently or maybe once a week, depending on what you normally do on your farm. Then we're going to dive into the financial performance. So that's the second pillar, because you could produce as good as you can and then still not make money, because eventually every farm needs to make money to sustain. So you want to get a grip and an understanding of your financial performance. So it's the ability of your farm to make money. And you need to understand the details of your profit and loss statement. And this application helps you to do that. And it's important to enter all farm related incomes and expenses to really get a grip. Within the application you can enter your income and your expense as mentioned, and you need to tick if it's income of a bird sales, egg sales, or others, maybe manure or feathers. And then the application will instantly calculate the amount per bird that you have on your farm and divides by it, but you could also assign it to a specific flock, and then you could select on that flock to really get the details of your income and expense statement. It's the same for expenses. There are 5 pre-programmed categories: day-old chicks, feed, labor, other, and veterinary supplies. But you could create your own categories like energy or specific employees that you want to track their expenses. And eventually you want to compare those spendings and track your monthly income and expenses. It gives you some insights for example, this, it's hard to see now, but feed is 60% of the cost usually. Then you have day-old chicks and otters, and by tracking those expenses you will get insight and you will be able to compare it to other farmers in your region or to the national average and learn if you're doing well or if there's some space for improvement. So that's the last pillar that we put in the application. That's the farm management side, and we call it the Champri Knowledge Center. And it's also the most difficult thing for us to support you with, because it's the skill of the farmer to recognize specific situations and act right. And as a farmer, it's quite a demanding job. You need to be good in almost anything. So for example, you need the expertise like in negotiations to obtain a good price for your meat and eggs, but also to get discounts on your veterinary supplies, etc. And then on the other side, you need the expertise in these tables to recognize if your birds have any disease symptoms, if the temperature of your at ground level is okay. You need to know quite a lot of things. So that's difficult for us to support you with, but we put in the Knowledge Center from Champri, and there we explain various topics like vaccinations or the feed phases or any management like things. And this is something that will be growing in the coming years, but you could already scroll through it. In the application, you will also see feed phases, and those feed phases are linked to the age and productive phase of the bird, and you will be able to generate your own recipes with our other application 123feed.com. and I hosted a presentation about 123feed.com this morning, so you could review that previous presentation if you want to learn more about it. So I hope I got you enthusiastic to start with 123 Poultry and start improving your farm. So how do you actually start? Well, you can download the application on your mobile, and the introduction of iOS will be in May, and for Android it will be about 2 to 4 weeks later in July. But you could start already by collecting your broiler or layer record book. It will be a free download available, and you could get it after the presentation. Thank you all for listening to my presentation. I would like to thank Connecting Days Ghana to give us the opportunity to present, and now hope to meet you all at the breakout room to answer your questions and discuss about technology in poultry farming. See you there.
Eh bien, merci d'avoir participé à cette réédition des Connecting Days estivales. Nous espérons tout d'abord que cette réédition vous a plu et nous vous invitons à prendre contact avec nous pour toute question, mais également si vous souhaitez que l'on mette votre pays en avant. Thank you for attending this re-edition of the Connecting Days. We hope that you will enjoy this event and you find the information you needed. Please let us know if you have any questions, and also if you would like for us to advertise the country. We hope to see you soon. Have a nice day.